yo, coming out of your body and like seeing other entities, that sounds dope. Let's do it. All right, what is up, you guys? Today I am coming at you guys with a video on the beginning of my spiritual journey and a little bit about me and what made this what made who I am now, what made this crazy person. Because honestly, to a normal everyday person, I do seem a little bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. One sec. Okay, but anyway, the start of my spiritual journey, let's see, so rewind back to 2018 that was when I first started learning a little bit about this stuff, and I didn't fully dive in until the middle of 2018, where I had already moved out of my parents' house and I was on my own. I was able to think freely, and I was able to just have my space and be like, okay, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? I just needed to figure it out, and I really wanted to figure it out, so that's exactly what I did. I started to figure myself out, and I started to dig and find answers, and I was looking everywhere but within, and I was just like looking at all of these, I was reading all of these articles, watching all these YouTube videos, studying old meditation techniques, and then I eventually stumbled across guided meditation videos on YouTube, and that was really like the start of me diving into it. And this was probably when I was about 18, so around 3 years ago, because I'm 21 now, so around 3 years ago, and I started doing guided meditations, and I was like, holy crap, this stuff is cool, because I started to like feel better about myself. I started to, speak up a little more. I was more confident, I was more observant, and I talked a little less. People were like, yo, you're changing, and I was like, yeah, I know. But then I started to kind of get an ego about it, because I was like, I'm different. But anyways, so I'm like learning about all of this guided meditation stuff, and I'm doing them before I go to sleep, and then eventually I start getting into astral projection. I start learning how to open your third eye. I start practicing fasting. I'm doing all of this stuff, and in the midst of all of this, I'm living with my friends, and we're doing a lot of like partying too. So like, I mean, I didn't fully understand it, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have been doing a lot of partying, but so I'm just kind of like out there. I'm just kind of like, yeah, this spiritual stuff is dope. And at first I didn't really tell anybody about it. And then I remember I came out to the living room one day to my friends, and I was like, to my roommates, and I was like, yo, have you guys heard about the pineal gland? Do you guys know what this is? They're like, yo, what? And I just like started talking about it, and that was really like the start of me becoming who I am. And so like I'm learning about all this stuff and doing all this stuff, and while I'm doing all this stuff, I get into a relationship that kind of like, I just like forgot about what I was doing, and I kind of like lost myself. But all while I was in that relationship, before I got in it, my third eye was already open, and so it kind of made me like more depressed, because I was like, yo, why am I doing this? Why am I in this relationship? I don't know, like, why do people talk to me about me needing to go to school, or like needing to keep a job, or like, why do I need money? And so it just drove me crazy, because I started to surround myself with people who were like really programmed, and I couldn't handle it, and I was just like driving myself insane, because like I knew that none of it was real, and I was like, holy crap, why am I here? What am I doing? Like, this isn't my crowd, this isn't who I want to be around. I just want to be alone, and that's what I did. I started being alone more often. I eventually quit my job. I moved away, and I like lost a lot of my friends, and that's when my life just got flipped upside down. And then I'm still like kind of understanding spirituality, and still kind of doing my reading and learning more and more about astral projection and this and that, and all while I'm doing this, I don't understand how to protect myself, and I'm not doing the research about protecting myself because, of course, I just want to do the cool stuff. I'm like, yo, coming out of your body and like seeing other entities, that sounds dope. Let's do it. And manifestation, that sounds dope. Let's get into it. And so that's what I did, and it kind of just drove me insane because I was having these like entities talk to me and tell me to do certain things, and like kind of it was not all of it was good. And so like that's what really messed me up, was because I was like, I didn't understand what they were and like what I was doing completely. And so that's what really like flipped my life upside down and built like this toxic cycle and this bad cycle in my life. And that's what like, that's when I really just started to like lose it. And I eventually, like, I got addicted to drugs for a little bit. I'm not gonna say which ones, but I was addicted to different drugs, and I was like just like losing myself, and I was like, I didn't want to be here. I was depressed, I was anxious, people were telling me I was this and that, and I needed to go to a therapist, and I was like, no, none of it's real, like I'm not doing it. I mean, I probably could have used a therapist, but really I don't think it would have helped, because I was just so far gone where I was just like, no, I'm not gonna trust anything anybody says. Like, it's just me right now. Like, I really didn't understand fully what I was doing as far as spirituality, and that was really the beginning of what created me now, because being at the bottom and losing everything and wanting to be gone and just like wanting to not have anything, like I didn't want this life. I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? But that was the start. That was the start, was me being at the bottom, losing everything. I mean, I lost my car, my job, all my money, a lot of material items I had to sell just to make rent. And then even then I was like just barely surviving and living off of like ramen and peanut butter, and it was just not good. Like, I was in a bad, dark place, very, very dark place. But I needed just that to make me more grateful for myself. And then after I started to like kind of calm down, I eventually broke out of the toxic cycle of thinking, and I stopped like practicing spirituality. So I was like, maybe spirituality is what was messing me up, and like people were telling me all this new age stuff is bad. And so I was like, you know what, maybe they're right. And so I went to church a few times, and I was like, yeah, maybe this is right, because I feel good when I go to church, and you know what, maybe what the pastor is saying about this is right. But then I was like, you know what, maybe it's not. And I started to question things again, and because I got back into prayer and meditation, and I started believing again in like my angels and my guides. And I was like, all while going to church and like starting to learn about the Bible and who Jesus was and all this God stuff, it got me back to spirituality, and it brought me right back. And I was like, oh no, here we go again. But that's not what happened this time, because I fully remembered who I was. I started to take it more serious and learn more about it, and really like dive deep into what was what, and like what different entities were, and how to tell bad from good, and how to astral project the right way, and how to meditate the right way, and how to think the right way, and how to manifest the right way, and not build bad karma. And I eventually like broke free of toxic thinking, and like I kind of like changed the way I thought, changed the way I moved, changed the way I hung out with people, and that was like what created me. I started to remember who I was. I put all of it together, because when I first started spirituality and to learn about meditation and astral projection, I was separating, and I was saying, okay, I am an astral body, I am a multidimensional being, right? And that's out here, right? Like, I was living in the astral plane. I was like, I want to live in my dreams forever. I just want to be out there. And I needed to put it together where I needed to say, I am a multidimensional being having a human experience. And that's when you remember who you are. You put your soul and your body together, put your heart, mind, body, soul together, and you just, that's what the answer is. It's remembering that you're a multidimensional being, but you're having a human experience. You chose to be here during this time, and you have a purpose. And that's when you start to find your purpose. That's when you start to piece everything together and your eyes kind of open and you go, whoa, holy shit. And like, it's like a big holy shit moment, because you're like, all of this bad stuff happened to me for a reason. Like, oh my God, I see it all now. Like, I see my whole life just like laid out in front of me, and I see why I'm supposed to be here and what I'm supposed to do and what I'm supposed to teach people and what's what. Like, I understand now. And you just like, you start to feel bad for yourself less, and you're like, okay, like, I don't feel bad that I went through any of this, or that this happened, or this, like, that doesn't define me. Anxiety, depression, any other kind of mental illness doesn't define me, because those are all temporary emotions. You understand that that is temporary. They are not forever things. So if you say you're anxious and a doctor says you have this anxiety disorder, you have PTSD, or you have this depression, or like, none of that, like, yes, it's real, you're feeling these emotions right now, that's real. But what's not real is them telling you that you are gonna be stuck this way and you need this medication to cope with it. No, that's not real. That is not real. Don't get that twisted. But you cannot be an emotion. You cannot be, you can feel an emotion, but you are not that emotion. That emotion doesn't define who you are. You are not anxiety. You are a multidimensional being having a human experience. Like I said, you are not anxiety, you are not depression, you are not PTSD. You are just feeling these things because of a thinking pattern, which you need to change. And that's really what it all stems from, is our thoughts. And our thoughts create our reality, because you are a thought. That's how humanity was created, was a thought. And so it's you projecting your thoughts out to the world and creating your actions, which in turn create your reality. And that's what people need to understand, because a lot of people are like, oh, New Age is bad. It's not New Age, it's spirituality. Don't get them twisted. Two different things. Two completely different things. Spirituality is about being in touch with yourself, understanding that the kingdom is within. Even the Bible says that. And a lot of Christians come to me and they're like, you're doing the devil's work. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing the devil's work. Bible literally talks about your pineal gland and the kingdom being within. I understand that the kingdom is within now. I just understand that. And for some reason, people feel the need to tell you that it's bad. It's not bad. Don't worry. It gets better. But at the beginning of a lot of your guys' spiritual journeys, you will go through that depression phase and disassociation and losing friends and family members, but that's all part of it. That is called the dark night of the soul. Look that up if you don't know what that is, but that's called the dark night of the soul, and you just need that. You need that experience. You need to feel that. Trust me, you need that. And that was what I experienced. That was what happened to me during the past 3 years. It's kind of like, I really shortened that up. Like, this is gonna be like a 14-15 minute video, but I think I did pretty good, because I just went through like 3 years of what happened and I kind of like condensed it. I didn't tell you like everything, but you really don't need to know everything to understand exactly what happened to me. If you guys want more stories for me to go more in depth on a part of the story, then just leave a comment on what you want me to go more in depth on, and I will go more in depth on that part. A lot of people were asking me to finally drop this video, so I was like, okay, I'll do this. So if you guys want to know more about any part of the story, or you guys want me to go more in depth about anything I learned, such as I could talk about anything. I've really done a lot of reading, a lot of reading and research. Like, I can talk about the Sumerians, Lumerians, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Black Indians, the Native Americans. I could talk about astral projection, how to meditate right, let's see, I could talk about sleep paralysis. I could talk about the dark night of the soul if you guys want me to, which is what I experienced, where I was like, I don't want to be here. I could also tell you about what you're experiencing. If you're experiencing a certain thing, I will literally walk you through it and tell you exactly what's going to happen and what you're experiencing and why you're experiencing it. I'm not saying I'm like this all-knowing person, but I have experienced a lot. I've done a lot of research on this stuff, and I know exactly what this stuff is because now I remember who I am. I put all of it together. It's duality. Research duality. I can also talk about that in a video if you'd like. But research duality. Duality, that's putting all of it together, the good and the bad, because nothing is really good or bad. It's not inherently good or bad. Humans just give it a connotation and they tell people that it's good or bad, and they judge whether it's good or bad because our minds naturally like to judge things, but nothing is inherently good or bad. There is nothing that is good or bad or heaven or hell or this or that. Nothing is good or bad. It's just one. That's what creates one. It can't be love without hate. It can't be fear without love. It can't be happiness without pain. You need to experience that pain to experience that happiness, and it can't be abundance without the poverty and being at the bottom. That is the end of the video. I hope you guys like this. Comment if you want any more stories about anything I said in the story, or me to go more in depth on something. I am more than happy to make a video on it. It might take me some time because I've been super busy lately, but I will get to it. I promise. I got to this video like I said I would. A lot of people were asking for this video, and I'm gonna drop it right after I hit done on record. But thank you guys. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys all had a good Sunday, and I hope your day continues to be better. Practice meditation, sleep, eat right, drink water, and speak positive things to yourself. Thank you. Bye.